Hey everybody, if you've been watching the last few episodes, you know that I just finished up an incredible trip driving north through the American West. And I thought I'd take a little bit of time here today and kind of sharp some loose ends from some of those episodes. Now, first of all, I want to apologize for the horrific lighting because I am sitting in my hotel room right now. And one of those episodes, I was showing you guys some sand dunes that I photographed, and unfortunately they're very popular. And if you guys take a look what I've got loaded up here in Lightroom, you're going to see that I've got people standing on this particular sand dune, and the problem is I don't want them there in the image. So today I'm going to show you guys some techniques on how we can remove some unwanted objects from your images. So if this is your first time joining us, welcome guys. I appreciate you taking a few minutes to check out my channel. And while you're here, I'd appreciate if you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the fun I'm going to be having while I'm at this location here in Washington State. But back to what we're here for, and that is to do some corrections to our images. So I'm going to be introducing you guys to a new tool. Let's take a look at it. So the tool we're going to be taking a look at is right here, which is going to be our spot removal tool. Now this tool has a couple of neat features. Now for example, I'm going to bring up an old image. This is from Glacier National Park, my first trip up there. Now I was kind of into my really overbaked my image phase of my career. This was a little more than 10 years ago. But a problem that I had on this particular trip is I lost a lot of my images because I was not practicing good discipline when it comes to cleaning dust off my lenses. And of course I didn't have Lightroom back then as well to help make corrections. So one of the things we're going to do is look for any spots that might still be lingering in this image. I'm just looking at it. I can see where I was taking the cloning tool everywhere to try and get rid of dust spots on my lens. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to click on the spot removal tool. And down here at the bottom, I'm going to visualize spots. And what this is going to do is try and highlight what you can't see very well, particularly in the gradients of the sky. We can change its sensitivity level so we can kind of visualize what may be some spots. So let's try looking in right here. We're going to zoom in just a little bit right up into here. And we're going to take a look and pretend this is a spot on my lens. A dust spot. Now I currently have the tool set into its healing mode, which is what I prefer to do. What it's going to do is going to try and take image data from another section of the image, merge it into what I'm looking at to try and hide any blemishes that are there. Cloning will actually take the image and superimpose it on top, but the healing seems to be a little bit more settled. Now by holding down my control key and rolling my mouse wheel, I can change the size of the healing spots. I'm going to position it right on top, click, and you can see it took part of the image that looked very close to this one and use it to heal the other image. Now I could have done this without the visualize spots turned on. I'm going to say done, and whatever blemish is there appears to have been corrected. Now that's how we're going to be fixing these people who are in my image that I don't want there. So let's take one of those images. Ooh, let me jump out here to fit. There we go. So here I can see I've got several people walking along the sand dune. And one thing is I really wish the sand dunes were pristine, but this is a very accessible area. And you can see there's a lot of photographers out there on this sand dune. This was the most, I would say, pronounced and the most visually appealing of the sand dunes that I was able to find. So I wanted to make sure I photographed it. So I'm going to remove some of these people using this tool. And I'm going to zoom in up here on these two individuals. So first of all, let me do a few things here. Just, oops. Let me turn on my lens correction. There we go. All right, so let's use this spot removal tool. Now I don't need to switch over to visualize spots because that's not what we're doing. What we are going to try and do is hide these individuals. Now I can see the background of these individuals. They're on the sand and there's the mountain in the distance. So what I'm going to do is draw a vertical line right down this person here. And you can see it's attempting to compensate. I'm going to click done. And in this case, it did almost a perfect job. I can see just a little divot there where it didn't quite line things up correctly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this. And this is where it can be a little difficult. Let's zoom in just a little tighter here. We're at 200% now. I'm going to grab the portion that was used to heal the image and just carefully drop it down 1 pixel. And let's done. I think I may have taken it too far. Nope, it worked. There we go. We can see the person has been removed. Let's go ahead and do this for this individual here as well. And done. And let's see. Good. It did a great job there. Now I'm going to attempt to remove parts of the shadows here. May have a little bit too thick of a brush there. We'll see. Yep, that worked really good. Let's go ahead and do it for this one as well. And now, see, we accidentally drew again to the background, and you can see the healing tool is trying to use it. I'm going to go ahead and switch to clone, and nope, it just does not match. So what we need to do is we're going to go ahead and remove that spot. There we go. All right, so let's try this again. I'm going to thin down my drawing tool, or my spot removal tool, just a tad bit here. And we're going to go ahead and give this another try. All right, so with my tool, whoa, it's just jumping around a little bit there. So guys, I am recording at the same time I'm doing this, so it is just fighting me just a little bit here. All right, so we're going to be a little bit more careful in fixing this. Now the background image is right where the footsteps and the undisturbed sand seem to meet, and this time Lightroom seems to have picked up on that, and we've eliminated those people from the image. So we can do the same thing with the other people in this image. Now this one's a little more difficult because of the curve of the sand dunes. In this case, you may have to do individual segments of this. So I'm going to try and stay away from the dark curve if I can. We'll just try and do little individual segments. That looked like it worked out well. Okay. Now this one is right against it. And that one not quite so much. So let's see if we can move this over to here, which is a little closer to the angle that one's at. And then let's go ahead and work on the person's body here. And I'm thinking this might be a better fit right up there. And then we have to deal with the shadow. And done. And I can see a little discoloration right there from the whole healing process. So let's see here if we can pull this just there we go. Pull that a little ways away from the edge there, and that helped to hide that particular person. Does take a little bit of effort for you to use this technique, but it does clear away elements you don't want there. Like for example, let's take a look at another image that I showed you guys in another video, and that is of my Jeep. Now you guys all know I love my Jeep, but in order for me to use it for stock photography, there's a couple of elements of this Jeep that we need to remove. First of all, I need to take off the word Rubicon, because that's a trademark name. I also need to take off Jeep and the trail rating badge so that we can use it for stock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn on my spot removable tool, and I'm going to attempt to draw over, whoops, and I got a little off there. Let me undo that. The surface I have my mouse on is not the best surface for doing this. There we go. Now let's see what it does. It seems to try to match up a long stretch of another piece of the Jeep's body that's somewhat similar. I'm going to go ahead and say done. And you can see that it did do some work here. There's a little bit of blue there. If I switch over, let's highlight this again. If I switch over this to clone, it looks like it may have made a little bit more of an acceptable change. There we go. I like that one a bit better. So it's really going to take a discerning eye to see that very dark material, the very dark metal and paint of the Jeep has been cloned out. I'm going to go ahead and finish off here and then switch back to the healing tool. We're going to just put a little dot here on the trail rating badge. And then right here where it says Jeep, we're going to go ahead and highlight this area. Let it do its thing. And voila. This image has had its trademarks removed, and now we can sell it as stock imagery. Alright guys, so I hope that you got a little bit out of this when it comes using the spot removal tool. It's just not for removing dust spots from your lenses that appear in your images. It also helps you to remove the subtle little elements that you don't want there. Like, let me show you one more thing here, and let's see if we can find a more distracting element. The spot removal tool can be used to remove larger elements, like for example this distracting bush right here. I really don't like it. I really don't like its shadow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw over it. And done. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it when it comes to removing these unnecessary elements or distracting elements from your images. It does take some work, but the benefit is that you can remove little distractions, maybe a rock that you don't like being in a particular area, or a little bush, or in our case people in the distance. So guys, if you like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and if you'd like to check out my bonus content, take a look at patreon.com/EWJ. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to get out of this hotel room here sometime in the next few days and explore the area that I'm in. I'll tell you that some of the things I'm looking forward to is, of course, some Northwood photography, snow-covered mountains photography, and yes, I am even going to be flying the drone over Puget Sound, see if we can capture any images of whales or orcas or any other sea life that's in the area. So again, hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss it. Guys, I'm going to finish packing up so I can move on to my next destination. Remember to never stop exploring, and I'll see you all in the next episode.